I will be speaking on the Voting Rights Act of 1965. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 was created to protect African Americans from unfair voting practices and to ensure equal political representation, especially in southern states. The law helped remove barriers such as literacy tests, intimidation, and discriminatory policies that prevented many black citizens from voting. Because of this law, voter registration among African Americans greatly increased and more minority leaders were elected into office. Unfortunately, over the years, parts of the law have changed through Supreme Court decisions. One major case, Shelby County versus Holder, weakened federal protections by removing the requirement that made some states receive approval before changing voting laws or district maps. After the ruling, several southern states quickly introduced new voting policies and redistricting plans. Many critics believe these changes could reduce black political representation in the South. New voting maps may threaten black elected officials and make it more difficult for future African American leaders to gain political opportunities. The black community believes that these decisions would be devastating for rising black leaders hoping to serve their communities and continue building representation in government. It is a clear and evident motive to dismantle the intended goal of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, and that is to ensure fairness for all people, especially the people of color. It is also believed that many national leaders of color started their careers in local government, including city councils and state legislatures. If representation is reduced in local districts, opportunities for future leadership may also decline. Overall, the debate shows that the fight for equal voting rights and fair representation continues today, especially throughout the South. Let us be mindful of what is currently happening with voter rights and the effort to delete and remove people of color from participating in political leadership roles.
Cam.
While he's borrowing his camera, just want to make a note that people don't take things from you that's not valuable.
Right.
They leave junk alone. They just go on by the roadside and leave it there. So your vote is very important and very valuable. So please register. And I just make this last note. I always announce it wherever I go. My mom, the voting rights started in 1965. My mom, when I looked at her registration when she was registered to vote, I looked on, they got her listed as registered in October the 24th, 1964. And can't you imagine, and they didn't have any land. Her parents didn't have any land. She, you know, they rented houses and stuff, and a lot of times you went from people who can put you out at any time. And they do when they find out you're registered to vote. But she had registered and still on record that she registered in October of 1964 to register to vote. And that's when she was 26 years old. Can't you imagine growing up there trying to vote? And pretty much, this is my mom here who don't know. She always told me about that when she had to register to vote, she had to read part of the Constitution in order to register. If she could not read part of the Constitution that they identified, she could not register. So back then was always a blocking the vote, but she managed to vote, so she's still on record for that. Just
all right. Good history.
Yeah, amen.